All right, hello TFE and welcome TFE new and the grizzled veterans alike. I am Alan. I'm here with our commish Sam. Wanted to throw together another quick video breaking down or taking a deeper look into some things that maybe we felt needed expanding upon or that people had questions on. First things first, wanted to mention we are up to 23. Is that correct, Sam? 23 in the tracks?
Yeah, I think so. It's bounced around at that level, but yeah, we're at 23, I think. Lost
We're
two.
right there, man. We're
Yeah,
right
we're
there.
right there. We're right there. I could check it. I've got it up here, but 22 or 23. Yeah, we're at 22.
Which is a pretty good leap from where we were just at. I don't know how it happened. You know, we had a couple new guys in the Discord recently, and all of a sudden it seemed like we had an explosion of interest. So maybe these guys are coming in from other leagues, or maybe your ads are getting some traction. Whatever the reason, it's really nice to see it. Big leap forward, and really at this same pace shouldn't be long until we're filled and ready to be talking about that initial auction and
Yeah,
fun stuff like that.
You mentioned ads. This is a 2-year-old project for me, so I'm super excited to see it get some legs. I've got about 1,500 in before buy-in for this year in ads and website hosting, email hosting, all that kind of stuff. I spent like $500 something on Twitter ads last year, a couple $100 on Facebook ads trying to push in those places. So, I'm really excited to have everyone here. I didn't open the league until the Discord had about 30 people in it because nobody wants to be the first person in the league and be like, man, is this thing ever going to happen? So I wanted to get some interest there. So we jumped to 10 or 11 really fast. And then when people, saw the postings on the different forums I'm on right now, and they came in and saw, hey, there's actually people in this league and this is going to happen. I think that really helped. So thank you to the early adopters. Thank you to the folks who have been in this Discord channel for the last 2 years, waiting to see this thing launch. Super excited. We've got many, many great plans for this server and this TFE system, and I'm just thankful for everyone who's come along so far. But let's jump into it. We are live. I do have a cough. I'm missing a tooth. I'm dressed for work. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Actually, I normally dress in a t-shirt and sweatpants. Compliments of Jeff, who told me to buy sweats, and those are pretty sweet, by the way. But yeah, I had an interview earlier today. I was interviewing a candidate, and so I put on a jacket, but and button up. But anyways, you don't want to see what's below the waist. Not just kidding, just kidding. I've got fun.
Speaking of OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah, I did want to say in honor of TFE, kicking off. I've got some Prosecco here. We had Guinness last time, so I am a man. I do drink dark beer, but this is what I had. So we're doing the Prosecco today. We'll do bourbon next time or Scotch.
I think well earned. I think well earned. I do, and I want to second. So anybody that doesn't, no reason not to believe you, but anybody that doesn't believe him, he has been talking about this for this long. I mean, this is not a fly by night. You guys that are joining your first 30 teamer, you guys that are joining your first what do you call this? I mean, true dynasty, right?
It's contract. I don't think it's dynasty.
Contract league. There you go. Contract league.
In between, it's the contract league. Yeah.
But yeah, for any of you guys, that had any question that is this thing for real? Is this big giant constitution just just fluff or I mean this guy's literally adding $500 of his own money out of pocket to the pot for year one. So when he says I've got $1,500 invested in this over the last couple of years, that's not counting the man hours spent to try to put this thing together. I'm excited for you, buddy. I'm really glad that we got up over that 20 mark. It seems like getting over 20, that's kind of the line you want to hit. And then the rest of the dominoes maybe fall a little bit easier after that. When you get to 23, 24, 25, okay, we only need a handful more. Those guys are eager to come in. You're right. Nobody wanted to be first and sit there and wait forever. But I think these last few guys to come in, I think we're going to get there. And I'm excited for it. So yeah, let's
about it. If you think about it, if you're watching it right now and you're on the fence, you're like, what is this? This looks cool. We've got 8 spots left. It sounds like I'd like to get there by Monday. Once the league is full, we're going to do a lottery for the team names, which is the first topic we'll have. We're going to be major league teams. We're going to be broken up as AL and NL. Unfortunately, Fantrax doesn't have the ability to weight based on a division. And in order to run MLB style divisions and have payouts based on division winners and stuff like that, I think it's important that we have an equitable schedule. It's just not in the software right now. So we're going to do 15 teams in the AL, 15 teams in the NL. You'll have full intra-league. There'll be 160 games played. So you play each team roughly something like 5 or 6 times. Everybody will have a pretty fair distribution of who they were able to play. And then we're going to take the top 8 from the AL and the top 8 from the NL for the playoffs. So that's how that'll go. So we'll have Texas Rangers and Houston Astros and Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Dodgers or whoever to figure out what franchise you're going to get. Everybody that's in TFE is going to get one lottery ball. If you really care about getting the Mets or whoever it is that's your team, you can buy additional lottery balls. They're just $1 a piece. You can buy one of them. You can buy 100 of them. I don't care what you buy. All the proceeds should go to me since I've got so much money in the league, but I'm not going to do that. It's all going to go in the playoff pool. So if we have $150 in extra lottery balls purchased, there will be an extra $150 in the playoff pool. I wouldn't even mind if all the lottery money goes to the winner instead of being divided between the playoff pool to make that, that money spot even sweeter.
Top heavy, yeah.
Yeah, once the league's full, we'll figure out some of those finer, smaller benefits like that. But that's how that works. If you're wondering what franchise you're going to get, we're going to have a day where you can trade franchises. You can send each other $25 via Venmo to get, the Texas Rangers or whatever. I'm a Rangers fan. I'm going to be the Rangers. So if you get the Rangers, you get the jackpot because I'm going to pay you. Not really. But I'll be buying some lottery balls to try to make sure I get one of my top 3 favorite teams. But anyways. Enough about that. We'll jump into the 3 things that we're going to cover in Excel are going to be the first year player draft signings, the exit fee, and the payout sheet. So if you're watching this for the first time and none of that makes any sense to you, you got to hop on the Discord. There will be links in all the forums and stuff like that. Wherever you found this video, you'll find a link to join the Discord. There we have a 7,500 word constitution, which no one wants to read, but it's there to keep me honest. And then also we've got these pods that Alan's kind enough to host for us to cover some of these more nuanced rules that might be unique to what you're used to. So Alan, if you want to chime in with something, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to pull up this first year player draft.
Yeah, no, I think I'm straight to go. So what we're mostly going to cover here is the mechanism that we have in place for the signing bonuses. Because the FYPD itself is just going to be a straight snake on Fantrax, so using their draft room. This is not the initial auction. The initial auction is Couch Manager slow auction. This is the FYPD. So just the prospects and minor leaguers left over after the auction, correct? Or are we doing that before the auction? I can't remember.
Yeah. First off, can you see my screen here?
Oh, yeah. I have to do that. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, cool. Well, then I'll downsize what I had there. Well, I can't because I have to be able to. Yeah, so let's see if I go here. I think this will work. Yeah, perfect. There. So now I can see it and edit it. So what this is, here's the deal. In the first inaugural draft, minor league players may be drafted. Whatever they go for in the auction is what their salary will be. Each team may only own 3 minor leaguers. Okay, you can nominate 10 of them, but you can't win more than 3 of them. So what that means is, if you've got 2 already, you can only nominate 1. If you've got 3, you can't nominate 1 because you might accidentally win them if nobody bids on them. So we'll cover those rules before the draft. But what this is each team gets to draft up to 3 minor leaguers. So we're going to have roughly the top 90 minor leaguers off the board before we get to the FYPD. Why do we do that? I don't like the idea that the randomized guy gets Jackson Holiday just as a bonus because he was in the randomizer, right? So allowing us to jump into the top 100 prospects and pay them a more equitable price is fine with me. Now, that money that you spend at auction, let's say you spend $7, $7, and $3. So you spend $17 on 3 different prospects. That reduces your $260 of auction money that is actually going to get spent, and you won't have that spent for the rest of the auction. But once the auction's over, since they have no minor league stats, they can be moved into the minor league spot, and they're not going to count against your in-season cap until they get called up, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is they're guaranteed to sign with you. You paid them $7 as a minor leaguer, they're going to be on your roster. But after the draft is over and we go to the first-year player draft, we'll run a randomizer. It'll give us a 1 through 30. It'll be a snake draft in the first year. In subsequent years, it's 1 through 30, then 1 through 30, then 1 through 30, non-snake draft. Okay, so the worst team gets the best pick. The best team gets the worst pick in all 5 rounds. There's 20 rounds in the FYPD in the first year. There'll be 25 roster spots in case you bought 3, but you do some horse trading and you pick up some extra picks and you wind up drafting 22, okay? But by the time the season starts, everyone has to trade down or cut down to 20 minor leaguers on their active minor league roster moving into the season. Now, in this year and in subsequent years, all players that you draft have the ability to not sign with you. That's totally unique. I don't know of any other league out there that does that. I'm so excited about this feature. And y'all have to realize, when I built TFE, I did a video series. It's on another channel. There's like 10 or 12 videos where I talk through things like luxury tax, arbitration, stadium size, concession, fans. I had everything worked out for this, okay? This constitution was like 12,000 words. I had to cut it down to 7,500 as I failed to communicate my passion and zeal to enough people to fill it in previous years, okay? But this was one that I think is easy enough that we can keep. It's going to work like this, okay? So in the Constitution, you have this sheet here. And this shows you that if you have the first round pick, we expect him to get a one-time signing bonus of $11. Now, every player taken out of the FYPD has a salary of $1. So when they get called up, they'll cost $1. All their future payments will be off of $1 if you extend them, okay? But you have a one-time payment equal to this slot value here based on the rounds that are over here, okay? So in this example, we're going to have the 3rd pick. And so I come over here, I have pick 3, and then I have my 2nd through my 20th rounds. Now, the computer will figure out, based on what I told it, how much slot is for that player. So if you come over here, slot for the 3rd pick is $10. If I had the 10th pick, it would be $50 and so on, right? But this guy's going to have $10 and then this much for the other rounds. Now, you're going to come into this drop down and you're going to choose if you want to offer them 75%, 100%, or 125% of their slot, okay? And depending on what you offer them, the chance to sign them is going to change. All right. So if I go 75% in the first round of negotiations with this prospect, I have a 65% chance to sign him. If I give him the full slot, I have an 85%. If I go 125%, I have a 95% chance, right? So in this example, I really care about my first 5 rounds. Like, those are the money guys, right? So I'm going to give them all the money, and I'm going to have a 95% chance of signing them. After that, I kind of care less, so I just go to basic slot at 85%. After that, I really don't care if my 16th through 20th sign with me or not, so I go at 75%. So it'll automatically compute your chance to sign for each one, and then we'll do a pod live. I'll pull up each team individually, and we'll run the randomizer. And so I'll do something like this, and oh man, in this case, your first round pick didn't sign. You had a 5% chance, right? And he doesn't sign. Now, I don't have.
And that was offering him 125% too.
Right. It's rare. Okay, but it happens. So we had 2 guys not sign. And so what'll happen is there'll be a second sheet that'll go out. It'll be round 2. It'll just have those 2 guys on it, and you'll have an opportunity to sign. And in the Constitution, it shows that the player's a little pissed off at you. So if you pay him the same level, there's a lower likelihood that he signs. And so the next one, the chance to sign maxes at like 85 and goes down to 45 or something like that, right? Now, Some folks have been like, I don't like that idea. In real life, I could just throw a bunch of money at a kid and he's going to sign. So there is a provision in the Constitution that says if you pay them $150, they're guaranteed to sign. Second time around, $175, they're guaranteed to sign. And if you fail on this guy 2 times, you get 200% offer to sign him to make sure you get him. All right. So everyone's guaranteed to get their guy if they want to get their guy, but the different strategy of what you're offering your prospects and the risk you want to take is going to determine this total number down here. And what this is it sums up all of the signing bonus that you had and it rounds it up. And so you just pay one number into, and see, I changed something. So now we lost 4 guys, but we got our main guy. So our payout goes up to $45 in that case. So in the first year, these picks are going to be something like, I'm just running through this to show you, your average is probably going to be somewhere in the 40s. There you go. You signed everybody. It's $50.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody.
That's the most you can sign, right? You do something else that's lower, you're going to be down in the 40s somewhere. Look at that. We lost all of those picks. We don't really care about that. But anyways, we're going to spend about $50. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What happens to a guy that doesn't sign?
That's a great question, Alan. He goes back in the FA pool. He cannot be signed, and he will be in the next year FYPD.
Okay. Interesting. That is interesting. So even if you somehow lose your guy, you don't want to go the 200% or the ones that, whatever, you lose your guy, he's not gone for it. He's not going to just go to the highest bidder, the guy with the most fab.
Right. It's like Kumar Rocker. He got drafted by the Mets. They couldn't work something out. He went back in. He got drafted by the Rangers. And guess what? The Mets were right. He had an elbow problem. He went in for Tommy John. But the Rangers paid him. So it doesn't matter, right? So anyways, yeah, he'll go back into the pool. He can't be touched. He'll be eligible in the FYPD. We do have J15 and recent college graduates from the draft that will all be included in our draft, just FYI. And once the J15 comes out, nobody can touch that. If you don't know what I mean by that, that's the international pool of players. Come in January 15th, I believe, and then June comes in the domestic players. And so those guys are not eligible to be touched until they've gone through the FYPD. Everyone who's new to the system can't be touched until an FYPD has occurred. And then they're eligible to be picked up with FAB as long as they didn't fail the signing bonus. So let me stop sharing that there, and let me pull up the next one. I wish we had a live audience so I could answer questions in case we didn't, answer something effectively there. But
hey, if people have questions, we'll crank out another one. I mean,
yeah.
And again, that was just for FYPD guys. You will not have to offer a signing bonus to prospects that you win in the initial auction. Those will be yours regardless. Yeah.
Yep.
Take a look.
All right. So what I have up here is the exit fee. I'm going to post all these on the Discord so y'all can come play around with them, all that kind of stuff. I'll lock the stuff that would break it just so you don't mess it up. But schedule my backup later here.
Oh, yeah, that's much better.
All right. So it's going to be something like this. Okay. So the owner here is like Sam. All right. Now I have a tab with every owner so that we can keep track of your normal years. So that the exit fee applies to you individually. So if you join in the 3rd year, you're going to have an exit fee in the 4th, 5th, and 6th year and so on. So I'll put in like 2024, 2025, 2026 in this case. Now let's say I win $300 in the 1st year. It's going to ask, did I exit? No. Then there's no exit fee. No problem. So I win $500 and I get paid out that $300. Okay. In 2025, I win $500 and I don't exit and there's no exit fee. All right. In the 3rd year, I traded away my future in order to win do well in the first 2 years. I just totally suck. I win a couple games. I don't do really well. And I only make $75 and I leave the league and I leave my franchise in shambles. Right. The exit fee becomes $125 because I told it I exited the league. But my winnings were only $75. So it chooses the greater. If my winnings here had been $300, then my exit fee would cap out at $125. But since my winnings are under the $125, all we do is withhold the winnings. In other words, I'm not calling you asking you to send me money. I just don't pay you out anything in LeagueSafe if you're under $125. If you're over $125, you get all the overage. Now, let's say I filled your franchise for the full $400 buy-in, because that's what it will be in 2026. Then you get no exit fee, because we got somebody to buy your franchise and the league is not harmed. But let's say I have to offer a $50 discount. Your exit fee is capped at that $50. So your payout will be $25 because you earn 70 or you earn 75. The penalty was $50. I'm going to send you $25 through LeagueSafe. Now let's say my franchise discount is $150. Okay. You're still only capped at that $75 fee. The league is going to absorb the $75 difference there. And if that's confusing, let me say $165, so the difference that we would eat is not the $75 that you're putting in, but we're going to eat the $90 that is over that 75. So we're never going to come after you. It's just that if you made some money, but you leave in bad shape, you're not going to get any of that money up to $125. So I think that's a pretty fair explanation. The reason we do this in other leagues that we've run on the AFN, which let me give a plug for Duke. He runs a great network, over 100 owners. I don't know, there's probably 20 some leagues with best balls, relegation leagues, auction leagues, roto leagues, head-to-head points, all kinds of stuff. The link is in the TFE if you want to head over there and check out some of the stuff they got going on over there as well. The Constitution was adopted from his league ABL, which Alan and I are both owners in as well. But he does something where you pay this year and next year's fee up front. That way, if you leave and your franchise is in bad shape, you don't get that deposit back. I don't like the idea of us putting in $400 extra per year, so $12,000 that LeagueSafe is holding interest free. That's terrible. I don't like that. So we're going to do an exit fee here. So I think it still accomplishes the same thing and we'll be all right. So that's it for the exit fee. Alan, do you have any comments there?
Not anything you haven't said already. I mean, just to reiterate that this is not a fuck you to anybody that wants to leave. It's more for the health of the league. This is to, in the event that we the TFE have to go out and find an owner to take a team that maybe has no first round picks, no first or second round picks for the next 2 years, and dealt away prospects for veterans to, like you said, try to make a run in the first couple. That team is not going to be very attractive for somebody to want to pay full price for. That's just the reality of the situation. So this is a mechanism in place to where if a discount has to be offered for somebody, hey, come in and take this team. We know it doesn't look great, but you don't have to pay the full, X whatever year it is. It's for the health of the league. It's not going into Sam's pocket. It's not just because, hey, we don't like people leaving. We want you to be long term so you don't get all your money back. It's nothing like that. And the hope would be to not have to, resort to that you fill a team for full price regardless. But we know in a 30-teamer, if guys are leaving their teams behind, there's a decent chance that they're not in great shape. So yeah. That's the main
reason. 2 more things on that. Number one is the Constitution has outlined what you have to do to leave and actually get your winnings back. You have to notify us. You have to keep setting your roster, and you have to maintain your team. No trades once you notify us you're leaving, but you have to maintain your team until we find a suitable replacement. You can bring it to the EC, the competition committee. We call it the EC over in ABL. I think we're going to call it the competition committee over here. So you can bring it to the CC, which will be 3 to 5 owners to start with that have a lot of experience in 30-teamers that will, keep me straight. We'll meet every year, vote on rules, that kind of stuff. But you'll inform us that you intend to leave. You'll maintain your team until we approve an owner to take over your team and make a deal to get them into the team. Ideally at full price. My desire is always full price. Secondly, over in ABL, we had a team go from last to second. And then the next year we had a team go from last to first, or close to last to first. And that was a new owner. He took over a dumpster fire of a franchise and was able to come back and win the league last year, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So it's not like if you're getting a team in bad shape, you're not going to be able to do anything. And the last point on that is, let's say I traded away all my draft picks. You can trade draft picks 3 years into the future. Let's say I traded them all away, leveraged my future to win now, and then I leave. You take over a team that doesn't have anything on the roster to show for the draft picks, and you don't have any draft picks, the EC at their discretion can allot you some additional compensation draft picks for those future spots that you lost out on. So we do our best to take care of new owners that are coming in if the franchise is in bad shape. So with that, I'm going to share again. I'm going to go to this. So let me know when you've got that pulled up there, Alan. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the green cells are what you can play with. This is already on the Discord. There's the information here that clicking through it kind of fast, but it's got all the inputs for the buy-ins, the number of teams, the way the playoffs are paid out, the dollars per win. You can go in and break that if you want. I think I locked it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But what you really care about is this what if calculator. So let's say you come in here and you're like, all right, let's say I win 80 games. There's 160 matchups. There's 8 per week for 20 weeks. Let's say I win 80 games, go 500, and I don't make the playoffs. I'm going to make $160. They'll automatically compute it for you. But let's say I did make the playoffs and I didn't win anything. I'm at 255. I've already made my money back. Let's say I win into round 2 and then lose. I make $630. So that's not bad. Let's say I win 95 games and I lose the championship. So I'm a semi-winner. I get $1,000. I mean, that's pretty good for having put in $250 plus your free agent signing money, right? Or your first year player draft signing money. So you can play around with this, and each year, let's say you win 95 games, and let's just say you win, 1 playoff game, then 2 playoff games, and then let's say you're a semi-winner. You're going to make $420, $620, and $1,000. You will have put in, $250 plus $325 plus $400, so less than $1,000, and you'll take out $2,000. The weighting of this system, just so you know, if you go back and you take a look at any of this stuff, you have a win percentage here, payout during the season of somewhere like 64% in the first year, then 68, then 70%. As it increases, it's $2 in the first year, $275 in the second year, and $350 in the second year per win. And so what that does, there's been a couple people who have said, hey, look, if I'm going to put $200, $300, $400 into a league, put all this time into it, I want to make big, big money. Okay. Like if that's the way you're thinking about it, probably not the best league for you. I want to make big, big money too. I feel like putting in $200 and winning $1,600 is probably pretty good, for the time investment. I mean, we're all having fun here. Getting paid to have fun is pretty cool. What I don't want is for half the league to be getting zeroed out every year. And then we have a bunch of people that don't want to pay $400 for crappy franchises and all this kind of stuff because they're not winning any money. So in the real MLB, if you have fans that come to your ballpark, if you have media rights and profit sharing and all that kind of stuff, you can be the Pirates, you can win 62 games and you can be profitable. Now I don't want a 62 win non-playoff team to be profitable here, but if you put $400 in, I don't see any reason you shouldn't get $150 back for having put effort into the league, so that you're only putting $250 back in to continue to try to build your team, right? So we have that to help people who are just being engaged, setting their lineups, showing their baseball acumen and being successful. And then the other side of the coin is, tanking or punting, dumping, whatever you want to call it, is a huge problem in these kind of leagues. And so the higher buy-in is not so that we can have a $5,000 winner when they win first. It's so that you're discouraged from paying $400 or whatever the buy-in is for that year to do nothing and just absolutely suck. Like, we don't have to make dump dates. We don't have to overturn and veto trades. We don't have to do all that kind of stuff. I will mention on the trades, vetoes don't really happen. If they happen, it'll be because we proved malicious collusion. We get people from all over the place. I don't think there's going to be buddy chumming up to win $1,000. But hey, if we identify that it's happening and we can say, hey, this is so egregious that it looks really, really bad, the trade won't just be overturned. Both owners will probably be removed from the league, because I'm not going to live in I'm not going to live in an environment where we have that, right? And so, like, if it's bad enough to be overturned, it's bad enough for you to exit. And so, we will watch that as a competitive committee, but I don't expect that to be an issue. We're all adults.
It's never happened on the AFN. Like you said, over 100 owners, multiple leagues. Yeah. And we know guys are friends, but it just serious fantasy players don't do that shit. I mean, that's for public Yahoo leagues and stuff. That's not us. So yeah, it never happens. But
I usually pick on ESPN, but Yahoo works. Okay. So the last thing that I think we want to keep this about half an hour. We're at half an hour. But I wanted to pull up couch managers, and we'll we'll definitely have a mock draft that once the league is full, where everybody can get in and play around. But let me share this one last screen. I think it's here. Let me know if you can see that, Alan.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what Couch Managers looks like. For anyone who doesn't know, we're all going to join in here. We'll all have our team to nominate somebody. I'll click on Acuna. I'll say I'm going to nominate him. We're not drafting. How do I start the draft?
Are we all going to start with one nomination each, Sam?
Yeah, it probably won't let me start until everybody's full. I didn't.
Yeah, didn't think about that.
There it is. Start auction.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it won't let me start before we're full. All right, but this is what the GUI looks like. You click on the player, you begin them for $1. They're going to show up right here, and you can go in and bid. Do not click this button, make max bid your real bid, because what happens is, let's say you bid $30 on Acuna, and he's at $1. If somebody bids $10, it'll bump your bid up to $11, but it won't reset his timer. So if you build a cushion in, you don't reset the timer on the player. Let's say he's at $45 and you bid 46, the timer will restart. And if somebody bids 47, it'll restart again. So if you were willing to go to 48, you should have just put that in to begin with, okay? But you don't want to click that make max bid your real bid, all right? The next thing is everybody's going to come out on the board. Everyone will get one nomination to start off with, and we'll probably run that for about 3 to 5 days. We'll see the pace of the auction. But when a player comes out and have a 12-hour timer, there's a sleep timer between 10 p.m. Central Time and 8 a.m. Central Time. So the auction won't move during that time. You can go in and bid. You can do whatever, but
yeah, still be able to bid, still be able to flip guys, but it won't. The timer won't be moving. Yeah, but you can still win guys. Yeah.
So when you nominate a guy, he'll be on there for 12 hours. As soon as he gets outbid, it will reset to 8 hours. So if he's in the 10th hour and you outbid him, he'll stay at 10 hours. If he's at the 5th hour and you outbid him, he'll go back to 8 hours. If he's 30 seconds away and you outbid him, he'll go to 8 hours. And everybody else will have a shot at him.
If he's 1 second away, if you flip a guy with 1 second, it flips him back up to 8 hours. And how this looks, you see up at the top, it says current auctions. And of course there's none right now, but how it will look to us is there will be 30 players then under that, and you'll have all their salary, what they're at on the right. The timer will be on the right. It's pretty intuitive, I would say. Like once you get a look at it, like it looks a little rudimentary. Couch Managers is just one guy that does it, but he does it pretty well. But it works really well for what we need it for these slow auctions.
Yeah. So what kind of time commitment are we talking about? It's going to be something where you want to check maybe first thing when you wake up, or the 8, 9 to
Yeah,
8, 9
really
o'clock.
twice a day. If you're a kind of guy that's really, really busy, you just need to make sure, especially if there's guys on the board that you think you want, to make a shot at, check twice a day. That's really all, when you wake up and sometime in the evening before you go to bed, whatever it might be.
The whole
Those
option.
big long cushions that has SAM built in, has made sure that you don't have to be. There's no advantage goes to some guy that's just sitting at his computer all day. I work from home. I'm at my computer all the time. So the advantage in these auctions doesn't really go to me. If I win a guy, or I flip a guy, he just goes up to 8 hours, and I sit back and wait and see if I'm going to get flipped on him. It doesn't really give me much to be able to sit here and watch it all the time, even though that's what I'm going to do anyway. So
check morning and evening, maybe lunch break, whatever. But it's not that complicated. It takes 10 to 15 minutes a day over 2 or 3 stop-ins to keep up with it. You can do it on your phone. It's got a great phone app. Well, not an app, but a web presence on your phone. And once you win a player, let's say you win a Kuna for $45 or $72 or whatever his price is, you'll go to Fantrax, you'll hit Adam, you'll put the salary in, and it'll put him on your team at that salary. Now, you don't have to offer him a contract. There's no contracts offered until next January. So everybody that we buy, we're buying the right to own for 1 year. So if you pay $72 for a Kuna, you get him in 2024 for 1 year. And then next January, you can make a decision if you want to extend them or not. And we'll cover that in another pod.
Yeah. All right, man. I think we nailed it. Anybody else has any questions about this stuff? Obviously, bring it up in the Discord or privately, to Sam especially. But yeah, we're going to do more of these before everything gets going, before it gets filled. And then once the league does get filled, I'm going to focus them more on, the actual happenings and goings on in the league itself. We won't be doing this, rules stuff. This is just really to help guys out that are new to the networks and haven't done 30 teamers, haven't done leagues like this. So yeah,
for sure. Thanks a lot,
cool,
Alan.
man.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yep.